Yep.
Can't lose momentum.
Can't
Let's
lose
go.
momentum. Okay. Next one is epics and legendaries. 3,
Go.
2, 1. We're back. It's epics and legendaries time. Epics and legendaries.
Let's do it. We don't see them quite as often, but they are definitely some interesting cards. And with the change in synergies, you might see these more often than you expect, right? Because epics and legendaries certainly have very unique effects.
Yes. So let's just go over these. This is like the throwaway episode if you're watching this on YouTube. Like, we apologize ahead of time. It's not our fault. Blizzard gave us crappy cards in the epic slot. So we can start with the first crappy card. This will be like actually 5 minutes. Drakari Enchanter, 3 mana, 1/5. Your end of turn effects trigger twice. Not viable in Arena. No need to say anything. It's rated 54. Corpse Taker. It is a 60. It's actually going to be higher than that. This is a card that's not actually valued correctly right now, and we knew that going into this. I don't know where it's going to end up, but it's not actually going to end up too much higher than this because it is still a 4 mana through bear, right? Like, yeah. And you're not gonna have Lifesteal. You're not gonna have Wind Fury. You're not going, like, if you have Divine Shield, and by the way, there's not a lot of Divine Shield minions, so you're actually probably not even going to have Divine Shield. But if you are going to have Divine Shield, then all of a sudden, you know you've become?
Silver Moon Guardian.
A Silver Moon Guardian, which is like okay for a drop if you happen to hit your synergies.
Right.
So it's not good. I don't know if it's a 60. I know right now the chances to like find a ton in your deck is a little messed up. So it may go up by like a few points, but there's no way this is even hitting an 80 is my point.
Right.
Fitting the theme. Death Axe Punisher.
Death Axe Punisher is... I love the art for this, but it is a 4 mana 3/3 that says Battlecry. Give a random lifesteal minion in your hand +2/+2.
How many lifesteal minions will you have?
Very, very little. Definitely less than 1 on average. And this has to, and the lifesteal minion has to be in your hand, right? So lots of times it's just going to be a 4 mana 3/3, and that's why we have a very low score of 59.
Yeah. Keep in mind, there's like only one real lifesteal minion in neutral, like commons and rares. It's that 5 mana 4/4 which is like definitely below average. So.
Yep.
Okay, going down even more. Rattling Rascal. 2/2. Summon a 5/5 skeleton, and then summon one for your opponent when you die. So it's a 4 mana 2/2 net of stats, but you get your 5/5 before they get their 5/5. There's like, if you math out the actual math on the board, which we have the algorithm doing, it just dies a lot when you play it on turn 4. Like, bad things happen to you when you play it on turn 4. Like, your opponent either clears this with like pretty much any card, or your opponent ends up with a 5-something still alive. Like, those are the only 2 outcomes that happen when you play this card on curve. And then off curve, you're really not getting a lot of card advantage here. So, or tempo. So I don't know what it really has going for it.
Well, you're looking for that situation in which you're ahead and they can't deal with a 2/2, right?
No, you're looking to like bounce it somehow or like silence it. That's got to be it. This is not.
Yeah. I mean, you are looking for those times as well, but I can't imagine it being very useful.
4 mana, Meat Wagon, Death Rattle. Summon a minion from your deck with less attack than this minion. 1/4 mech. It kind of sucks. Because, I don't know, are you drafting that many penguins? If you are, then this is a 1/4 with a Death Rattle that gives you a 1/1. What you really need to do is buff it. You have a lot of buffs available for you, which is great. But you really have to synergize it. So in neutral, it's pretty bad. If you go to some place like Paladin, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's still kind of bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little better.
You're not summoning penguins, you know this.
Huh?
It has to be less attack than this minion. So you're summoning Validated Doomsayers.
Oh, that could be okay.
Well, it could, but you have to have a Validated Doomsayer. Or a Doomsayer. Aha.
That may not be okay. Okay, either way, this is a very highly questionable minion.
Yep.
Next, 5-drop Tomb Lurker. You want to talk about this?
Lurker
An
is
actual card.
Yeah. We have a score of 100 for this card. 5 mana, 5/3 Battlecry. Add a random death rattle minion that died this game to your hand. Yeah. I mean, look, 5 mana, 5/3 body. We've seen this with Ethereal Conjurer, if any of you guys remember that far back. And there are lots of death rattle minions in the game now, and lots of them will die. We have a lot of death rattles in this expansion as well. So you have a pretty decent chance of drawing a card off of Tomb Lurker.
Yep. So yeah, that's what it is. Yep. 100, totally average card. Furnace Colossus, 6 mana, 6/6. Battlecry, discard all weapons from your hand and gain their stats. You're not discarding any weapons here. I wonder if this synergy is implemented or if it's being implemented right now. Nope, the synergy is not implemented right now. We'll try to have this up by tomorrow so that it actually will correctly do it for the weapon classes.
Yep.
The Rubian Unraveler, this is the interesting one, right? 6 mana, 5/5, spells cost 2 more. We have it at 85, which means you're probably not going to want to draft it, and that's because it has crappy stats. And blocking a spell could be useful, but again, it's the same thing as that, like, the 5 mana, like, 2/2 that gives you an 8/8, right? Like, you could play to block your opponent's spell that they may or may not have in the arena, but it's not worth that, like, losing a whole bunch of stats for.
Yeah.
And this doesn't even really block it. Like, it blocks it on the turn that it can be played. Otherwise, if they really want to play the spell, they will just pay 2 more.
Right. Look, it'll block their... So you can't, like, play this on turn 6 and they'll Final Lands Portal you on turn 7. Right? That will not happen. But they can just drop a minion or multiple minions.
Yeah, if they have 7 mana, they can drop, like, any 6-drop or 7-drop and it'll just eat this.
Yep. Essentially.
And those are more common than Fire Lance Portals.
Right. And it's not just saying your opponent's spells cost 2 more. It's all spells cost 2 more.
Yep.
So if you want to easily respond to your opponent's drop, you have to kind of kill this off, or you have to spend 2 mana as well. So,
yep.
Yeah, it's just clunky. Not going to be that useful.
But again, same as the 2/2 that summons at 8/8 when it dies on your opponent's turn from this expansion, right? It's at 85. Yep. It's not like it does protect your board. You do get credit for that. It does have a role. It doesn't trigger that often, but when the situation lines up, it does do its job. It has a job, right? It's not like these other cards that don't have a job.
Yep. Next card is the Skulking Dice,
which has a job, but not in Arena.
Right. 6 mana, 4/6, Battlecry, destroy all 1-cost spells in both hands and decks. You're not going to have that many, like, 1-cost spells. Maybe if you're facing Paladin, right? They have Adaptation, Blessing of Wisdom, Blessing of Might, Lost in the Jungle. But even if you destroy that, it's, you're destroying 1-cost spells, and you're paying quite a lot of stats for it. So it is a 76.
Okay. And the Legendary is going to hit these very quickly because, okay, you have 3. You can see them, like, lined up on our tier list, like, when the positions they are, because they're pretty much nothing. You have Prince Kelep, which is 2 mana, 2/2, Battlecry. If your deck has no 2-cost cards, all right, just stop there. It has no 2-cost cards? No, your deck is going to have 2-cost cards. Even in the 2-drop Apocalypse, you're going to have 2 mana spells. You're going to have some 2-drops. Give all minions in your deck +1/+1. Like we said before, right? Like, I think this is just like the synergy card Blizzard's going to force you to take. Like, in the beginning of an arena draft. And then you're like, well, I guess I'm not taking 2s. And I'm going to try to win off this card. It's pretty bad. Next, Prince Tardum, 3 mana, 3/3. Battlecry, if your deck has no 3-cost cards, transform into a 3/3 copy of a minion. That's so bad because you need a minion that can actually have a really positive ability or like a positive death rattle or whatever to make up for it. So it's like not a terribly common combo. and you have to not have any 3-cost cards.
Yep.
But you know, it's still a 3/3, right? These cards are basically valued as like 3/3s and 4/4s and whatnot. Prince Valinar, 4 mana, 4/4. Battlecry. If your deck has no 4-cost cards, gain lifesteal and taunt. That's not even that good. Like if you trigger it. Like I don't know. These cards are just I don't like the design.
You're asking the scores for these cards.
Oh, it's a 94. They're just a normal 4/4. There's no. It's very unexciting as an arena player to see these cards. Or probably not as a constructive player either.
However, you should probably say the score before you talk about it.
I will say the scores. Man, being up at 1 a.m. makes you cranky.
It does.
Okay. Now, do you want to talk about... I will give you the privilege of talking about the actual good legendaries.
Woo! Thank you. This will cheer me up. Let's talk about Arthas. All right? Just... what a cool card. What an amazing card. Arthas is 4 mana, 2/2 beast with the death rattle. Add a random Death Knight card to your hand. Great design and powerful card. It's a 110 on the tier list. You're certainly giving up some stats, right? You're giving up quite a lot of stats.
Not a curve card.
Right. But the Death Knight cards, you'll see we value pretty highly, and most of them are quite good. So sort of what you give up in stats, you gain back, and you know those stats and more by having a Death Knight card. So you know we think it is definitely an above average card, and who doesn't want a Ghost Dog?
Yep.
Okay, now this is ridiculous.
So this is by far the new best card in the legendary section. Maybe the game. Yeah.
We have.
It is the best card that is in the neutral category.
Well, so, guys, some of these scores are bugged. Okay, so some of the other scores.
The old scores are bugged.
Yeah.
Like they actually just loaded incorrectly. It's not like they're even bugged in our system. Like the ones that are actually like not bugged, the ones that actually like need some work in our system and someone like it's being worked on right now as we do this. Like I'll point them out to you, but like those actually just like the score somehow didn't come up here when we uploaded it. That's why it took like an hour and a half to try to get the site like working with these things uploaded.
But the last legendary we need to talk about is an 8 mana 8/8, the Lich King. This is a score of 186 because 8 mana 8/8 with taunt, very important actually. And at the end of your turn, add a random Death Knight card to your hand. That's ridiculous. Why?
At the end of your turn, not like a death rattle, not like a battle cry.
Nope. Yeah. And the Death Knight cards are just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to like look at some of them.
Yep,
right
I've been
now.
showing them on the stream as well and the video. There's things like 2 mana, deal 5 damage to an enemy, or restore 5 health to a friendly minion. There's something like 7 mana, 5/3 weapon, death rattle. Summon every minion killed by this weapon.
It is incredible card advantage. A lot of these are really
very
good tempo as well. It's kind of everything you want in a card like this. You know, it covers up a lot of weaknesses that similar cards have. For example, Ysera gives you very powerful cards, but it comes one turn later. The 4/12 is kind of, you know, definitely it doesn't have enough attack, right? 12 health is nice, but the 4 attack is a little bit small. The Lich King also taunts, so it has a board presence immediately. And everything about this card is just absolutely bonkers.
Yep, and in case you're wondering, Ysera is one of the cards that loaded wrong. In fact, all these legendaries seem to be loading wrong. So Ysera is actually like significantly higher. I don't know how it's going to be adjusted in the new system, but I'm pretty sure it's still going to be like definitely well over 100, but nowhere close to 186.
Yeah. All right. So those are the epic and legendary cards.
Yeah. That's it for the rest. I mean, you're not going to see these too often, but remember, with these new offering rates that are happening, you're going to see them. Like, they're in the arena, and they have offering rate bonuses of plus 100%, just like all the other cards in the set. So, you know what you're getting yourself into. And as far as Lich King goes, kill him immediately, kill him dead, or else you will lose very, very quickly. And you know what?
Right.
You can't even do anything until you kill him anyway, because he has taunt. So it's very easy play, easy card, very, very powerful card.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. See you guys in the next episode. We will talk about class cards.
Woohoo.
Okay. Gonna take a break.